In the distant future, humanity has spread across the stars but faces extinction at the hands of a powerful alien empire. The story begins with Jack, a down-on-his-luck salvage pilot, and his small crew, Mike and Lisa, who discover an ancient derelict ship hidden in an asteroid field near the edge of human space. The ship is massive, unlike anything in current human or alien fleets, and appears to be of human design, but from a forgotten era. Jack's team boards the vessel despite warnings from their ship's computer. Inside, they find pristine corridors covered in dust, untouched for centuries. The power systems are dormant but intact. As they explore deeper, they find the bridge where strange symbols and controls await. Jack accidentally activates a console, and the ship's emergency systems flicker to life. A holographic figure appears, the ship's AI named Guardian, who addresses them as crew and asks about the war. When Jack explains that humans are now losing a different war against aliens called the Dominion, Guardian reveals that this vessel, the HSS Thunderchild, was once the pride of Earth's fleet before being lost in battle 300 years ago. It contains weapons technology long forgotten by humankind. As Jack and his crew absorb this information, their salvage ship detects approaching Dominion scout vessels. They have been followed. With nowhere to run, Jack makes a desperate decision: they need to fully activate this ancient battleship and escape. How many crew members does this thing need? Jack asked, his voice echoing through the vast bridge of the HSS Thunderchild. The holographic figure of Guardian flickered slightly before responding. Full operational capacity requires a crew of 57. Minimum safe operation requires 5. Jack looked at Mike and Lisa, then counted on his fingers. We're 3. 3 is insufficient, Guardian stated flatly. We don't have a choice, Lisa said, already working at what appeared to be a tactical station. The Dominion scouts have called for backup. Long-range sensors show a battle cruiser headed this way. ETA 20 minutes. Jack ran his hand through his hair, leaving it standing on end. Mike, can you get the engines working? Mike, already halfway into an access panel, grunted. Maybe. If I can reroute the auxiliary power to the main reactor ignition sequence. He disappeared further into the panel, his voice becoming muffled. This tech is ancient but, it's beautiful. Everything is labeled. Everything has redundancies. Jack turned back to Guardian. We need to move this ship. Now. Without proper crew, many systems will remain offline or function at reduced capacity, Guardian warned. Weapon systems require dedicated operators. Navigation requires. We'll make do, Jack cut in. Just tell us what to press. Guardian's holographic face showed what might have been concern, if an AI could feel such things. Very well. I will guide you. But first, you should know what you're dealing with. The hologram waved a hand, and the bridge darkened. Suddenly they were surrounded by stars, as if the ship's hull had become transparent. The display zoomed in on a section of space where dozens of ships, human ships, faced off against strange, asymmetrical vessels. 300 years ago, Guardian explained, the Thunderchild and its sister ships were humanity's last defense against an enemy we called the Harbingers. This recording shows the final battle. They watched in awe as the Thunderchild of the past fired a weapon that seemed to pull energy from a nearby star, channeling it into a devastating beam that cut through enemy ships like paper. The Solar Lance, Guardian said. One of many weapons deemed too dangerous for mass production. The Thunderchild was one of only 5 ships equipped with experimental technology of this magnitude. What happened? Lisa asked, staring at the battle unfolding around them. We won, but at great cost. The Thunderchild was believed destroyed. Instead, it seems the ship's emergency protocols engaged a blind jump. We've been dormant for centuries. A harsh alarm cut through the history lesson. Dominion cruiser has entered the system, Lisa reported, somehow understanding the ship's displays. "They're launching fighters." Jack moved to what he guessed was the captain's chair. "How do we power up this ship?" "The main reactor needs time to reach operational levels," Guardian said. "Estimated time to minimum power, 18 minutes. "We don't have 18 minutes, Jack said. "What about weapons? Can we fight?" "Point defense systems can be brought online with emergency power," Guardian replied. "But main weapons, including the solar lance, require full reactor function." Mike's voice came through an intercom. "I've got the emergency generators linked up. Should give us about 20% power capacity." "Enough to move?" Jack asked. "Enough to limp, maybe," Mike replied. "Not enough for a jump." Jack strapped himself into the captain's chair, surprised when interface panels lit up around him. "Lisa, get those point defense systems online." "Mike, give me whatever maneuverability you can." "Guardian, I need options." "The asteroid field provides potential tactical advantages," Guardian suggested. "With limited power, we could use the gravitational fields to accelerate beyond our engine capacity." "A slingshot maneuver?" Jack grinned. "Now you're talking." The bridge trembled as the ancient engines of the Thunderchild hummed to life for the first time in centuries. Outside, the approaching Dominion fighters spotted their movement and adjusted course to intercept. "They've seen us," Lisa reported. 8 fighters, closing fast. Point defense systems coming online now. The ship's exterior guns, dormant for 300 years, swiveled with surprising speed, tracking the incoming fighters. When they fired, pulses of blue energy lanced out, catching the lead Dominion fighter squarely. It exploded without even taking evasive action. "Direct hit!" Lisa exclaimed. "These weapons, they cut through their shields like they weren't even there." "The Dominion relies on energy diffusion shielding," Guardian explained. "Thunderchild's weapons use quantum-locked particles that ignore such defenses." Jack gripped the control yokes that had extended from his chair. The neural interface tingled against his temples as the ship's systems connected with his mind. Suddenly, he could feel the Thunderchild as if it were an extension of his body. "That's incredible," he whispered. The remaining fighters split into attack formation. More point defense fire dropped 2 of them, but the others returned fire, their energy weapons splashing against the Thunderchild's ancient hull. "Minimal damage," Guardian reported. "Hull integrity at 97%. The massive Dominion cruiser now loomed in their viewport, its weapons powering up. "Main reactor at 40% and rising," Mike called out. "We need 5 more minutes for jump capability." "We don't have 5 minutes," Jack replied, guiding the massive battleship toward the densest part of the asteroid field. "Everyone hold on." The Thunderchild accelerated toward a massive asteroid, one nearly half the size of the ship itself. "Jack, what are you doing?" Lisa shouted. "Trust me," he replied, his eyes half closed as he communed with the ship through the neural link. "Guardian, divert all power to forward shields and engines on my mark." The asteroid filled their view. The Dominion cruiser, too large to follow them into the dense field, fired its main weapon, a spear of crimson energy that just missed them as Jack rolled the ancient battleship on its axis. "Mark!" The Thunderchild's engines flared blue, and the ship skimmed the asteroid's surface, using its gravity to whip around in a tight arc. The maneuver sent them hurtling back toward open space, now moving almost twice as fast. "Reactor at 65%. Mike shouted. "That's enough for a short jump." The Dominion cruiser loomed before them, its weapons charging for another shot. "Calculating jump coordinates," Guardian announced. "No time to be precise," Jack said. "Just get us out of here." Space twisted around them as the jump engines engaged. The stars stretched into lines, and the Thunderchild vanished into hyperspace just as the Dominion cruiser fired. Jack released his white-knuckled grip on the controls. Where are we going? Guardian's hologram flickered. A safe harbor. One that hasn't seen visitors in 3 centuries. And the ancient battleship surged forward, carrying its new crew into the unknown. The Thunderchild burst out of hyperspace, shuddering as it decelerated. Warning lights flashed across the bridge consoles. Damage report, Jack called out, still gripping the captain's chair. Hull integrity at 89%, Guardian replied. Jump drive strain exceeded safety parameters. Repairs needed before another jump can be attempted. Lisa studied the view screen. Where are we? Before them hung a massive gas giant with swirling orange clouds. Orbiting it was what appeared to be a small moon, except a portion of its surface was clearly artificial, with geometric patterns visible even from a distance. Welcome to Outpost Omega, Guardian announced. A secret facility constructed to service the Firestorm fleet. It has remained hidden for 3 centuries. Mike entered the bridge, his face smudged with grease. Is that what I think it is? A shipyard, Jack whispered in awe. Guardian's hologram nodded. And a weapons development facility. It was designed to remain dormant until a proper authorization code was received. Like the one you just sent? Lisa asked. Precisely. The automated systems are awakening now. As if on cue, lights began to flicker across the surface of the station. Massive doors that had been invisible against the asteroid's surface slowly parted, revealing a docking bay large enough to accommodate the Thunderchild. The facility will begin repairs once we dock, Guardian explained. And its database may contain information about the other Firestorm ships. Jack leaned forward. Other ships? You mean there might be more like the Thunderchild out there? 4 others, Guardian confirmed. Together, they were humanity's last hope. And now they might be again, Jack said softly as the ancient battleship glided toward the awakening facility. They found us, Lisa announced, her voice tense as she monitored the long-range sensors. 3 days had passed since their arrival at Outpost Omega. The Thunderchild's repairs were nearly complete, and the crew had been busy learning the ship's systems with Guardian's help. 12 Dominion warships, she continued. They'll be here in 6 hours. Jack studied the tactical display. How did they track us through a blind jump? Unknown, Guardian replied. But this presents an opportunity to test the Thunderchild's full combat capabilities. Mike looked up from an engineering console. The main reactor is at 94% capacity. The solar lance is operational. We can't fight 12 warships head-on, Lisa argued. Jack's fingers tapped against the arm of the captain's chair. We won't have to. Guardian, what's the nearest star? A red giant, approximately 30 minutes at maximum sublight speed. A smile spread across Jack's face. Perfect. I have a plan. The Dominion fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation. Their commander, Admiral Krell, watched the sensor readings with cold satisfaction. The human vessel is near the star, his second reported. It appears damaged. Spring the trap, Krell ordered. All ships advance. The Dominion warships moved toward the red giant, weapons charged. None of them noticed the subtle disturbances forming on the star's surface. Aboard the Thunderchild, Jack gave the command. Fire the solar lance. The ancient weapon activated, drawing energy from the star in a visible stream of plasma. The Dominion fleet realized too late what was happening. The lance fired. A blinding beam of stellar matter cut through space, vaporizing 5 Dominion ships instantly. The others scattered in panic. First blood to humanity, Jack said quietly. And we're just getting started. We have a prisoner, Lisa announced as she entered the bridge. 2 days had passed since their victory over the Dominion fleet. The Thunderchild had captured an escape pod containing a single survivor. "Bring him in," Jack ordered. Guards escorted an alien onto the bridge. He stood slightly shorter than a human, with pale blue skin and 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. His uniform, once pristine, was torn and scorched. "I am Kel, 3rd officer of the Dominion cruiser Vanguard," he said in perfect English, surprising everyone. "You speak our language," Jack noted. "We study our enemies," Kel replied. "As you should study yours." Jack circled the prisoner. "Why were your ships looking for the Thunderchild?" Kel's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "The lost human ships have been our greatest fear for 3 centuries. The Dominion remembers what your Firestorm fleet could do." "There are other ships like this one?" Mike asked. 4 others, Kel confirmed. "We have been searching for them since before I was born." Guardian's hologram appeared. "He speaks the truth. The Firestorm project created 5 vessels, each with a unique weapon system derived from stellar manipulation technology. And you know where the others are?" Jack asked Kel. The alien straightened. "I know where one is. The HSS Dreadnought. My people found it decades ago, but couldn't activate it. We've been studying it at a research facility in the Veritas system." Jack exchanged glances with Lisa and Mike. "Set course for Veritas," he ordered. "It's time to reunite the fleet." The Thunderchild dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Veritas system, engines quiet, running dark. "Scan complete," Lisa reported. "Heavy Dominion presence. 8 battlecruisers, dozens of smaller vessels. The research station is in orbit around the 4th planet." Jack studied the tactical display. "And the Dreadnought?" "Inside the station," Kel confirmed, now working alongside the crew after proving his usefulness. "The outer docking bay. They've been trying to reverse engineer its systems for years." Guardian's hologram flickered to life. "The Dreadnought's primary weapon system is different from the Thunderchild's. Where we manipulate solar energy, it controls gravitational fields." "Can we get to it?" Mike asked. Jack pondered their options. A direct assault would be suicide. "We need a distraction." That's when the plan formed. Using the Thunderchild's newly repaired shuttles, a small team would infiltrate the station while the battleship itself drew away the Dominion fleet. "I should lead the boarding party," Lisa volunteered. "I've been studying the station schematics Kel provided." "I'll go with her," Mike added. "If the Dreadnought systems are offline, they'll need an engineer." Jack nodded. "Guardian, can you split your consciousness? Send part with them to interface with the Dreadnought's AI?" "It is possible," Guardian confirmed. "Though not without risk." 2 hours later, the mission began. The Thunderchild burst into the system, weapons blazing, drawing the attention of the Dominion fleet. As the massive ships moved to intercept, a small shuttle slipped away, cloaked by experimental technology, heading for the research station. "All Dominion vessels are pursuing us," Jack reported over the secure channel. "You're clear, Lisa. Get our ship back." The shuttle approached the station undetected. Lisa, Mike, and their small team of drones docked at a maintenance airlock. "We're in," Lisa whispered. "Beginning Phase 2. As the Thunderchild led the Dominion fleet on a chase through the system, occasionally turning to fire just enough to keep their interest, the boarding party made their way through the station. "This is going to work," Jack told himself as enemy fire splashed against the ancient battleship's shields. "It has to." "We've reached the docking bay," Lisa whispered into her communicator. "I can see the Dreadnought." The massive ship sat dormant, surrounded by Dominion research equipment. Unlike the sleek Thunderchild, the Dreadnought was bulkier, built like a fortress. "Security is heavier than expected," Mike reported. "We'll need a distraction here too." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the station. Kel had come through, remotely triggering emergency protocols from the Thunderchild. "Now's our chance," Lisa ordered, and the team rushed forward. Meanwhile, the Thunderchild was taking heavy fire. 3 Dominion cruisers had cornered it near the system's asteroid belt. "Shields at 42%, Guardian reported. "We cannot sustain this for long." Jack gripped the controls. "Hold on. Just a little longer." Back on the station, Mike had reached the Dreadnought's main access port. He connected Guardian's fragment to the ship's systems. Interfacing now, Guardian's voice came through their comms. "The Dreadnought recognizes me." Lights flickered across the ancient vessel. Its engines hummed to life. "We're in," Lisa shouted. "Mike, get to the bridge. I'll hold off the guards." On the Thunderchild, Jack received the signal he'd been waiting for. "All power to the solar lance," he commanded. The weapon fired, not at the Dominion ships, but at the asteroid belt. The concentrated solar energy shattered a massive asteroid, sending fragments hurtling toward the enemy vessels. In the chaos, the Dreadnought burst from the research station, its gravitational weapons pulling the station itself apart. "Rendezvous at coordinates Alpha," Jack transmitted as the 2 Firestorm ships accelerated away from the devastation. "This is just the beginning," he said, watching the stars streak by. 3 more ships to find. An empire to topple. And the stars will burn for humanity once more.